Hi, Astri. Let's have a look at your next essays. Now, the extended business hours for shops, right? Historically, many countries that have Christian background that have, did not allow shops to open on Sunday because it was considered a praying day. You don't need the as. Such tradition has been adjusted around the beginning of the 21st century to suit societal changes. Great. The adjustment is beneficial for the community, comma, but it should also be regulated by laws. Um, I would use a linking word for contrast in the beginning of the sentence, to add more cohesion, because it seems to me that this but is not exactly doing its job. So it can go something like, um, even though this adjustment is beneficial for community, it still should be regulated by laws. Or you can add your opinion. I believe it should still be regulated by laws. And this makes the sentence more prominent in terms of opinion and presenting this contrast of ideas better. This essay will explain my opinion using an example from the European Union to provide arguments. Yes. The fact that many marketplaces extend their business hours is advantageous for family. Okay, how about using the acronym, right? I think you read about the acronym, the weird letter acronym in the video. So why don't we use that, right? The first paragraph, body paragraph should be the first paragraph, and then you should go secondly, and so on and so forth. Or you can have, nevertheless, depends on the pattern though. First, the fact that many marketplaces extend their business hours is advantageous for the family, for families, I would rather say. The reason is twofold. Okay, firstly, and then that's it. Okay, so firstly should be capitalized. Firstly, it is necessary for most working parents to go shopping on the day when they do not go to the office. I would say work when they do not when the well, you said working parents, right? Yeah, you're trying to circumvent that. For example, a survey among working mothers in Europe shows that almost 90% of them were satisfied with the policy that allows supermarkets to open, I would say to be open, on Sunday because it provides them with more flexible time for doing groceries. Yes. Secondly, companies usually offer a high salary for working during the weekend. I would say not just high, but higher in comparison with the regular one, right? Which is beneficial for employees who need more income. For instance, a study from the EU found that almost 50% of shop attendees reported that, I would say shop goers, not attendees. Attendees sounds like people who attend a class. Shopgoers reported that doing the weekend shift has helped them to pay their monthly bills. These examples show how businesses that open every day are essential for family life. More clarification needed. It's not for family life. They are essential for a work-life balance or for an efficient functioning of efficient performing of family duties and chores, something like this, but not this way. I mean, this is overgeneralizing. But this is a very nice paragraph. Good examples, good arguments, just mind the minor corrections. Nevertheless, the fact that not all workers can do a weekend shift due to family responsibilities is a possible drawback that should not be forgotten. How about we do this? How about we say may be a possible drawback, right? This would add a bit more hedging to the statement, and it would, it's not this categorical for everyone. One categorical thing could be is like it's wrong to kill people, right? But even though there are some criminals who deserve the capital punishment in the opinion of so many people, so be very careful with categorical statements. For example, if there were no strict regulations, some employees could feel forced to work on Sunday. Companies might even threaten to terminate the contract of those who refuse to do it. Very nice. Or you could emphasize this, or even worse, companies might even threaten to. Therefore, laws that protect worker rights should be introduced in order to minimize the disadvantage. Now, look at the size of these paragraphs. This is a very nice paragraph. I like the arguments, but look at this paragraph, right? It has 142 words. You can't see it, but I can see it right here outside my screencast area. And this paragraph is 73 words long. I mean, 142 versus 73, twice. So try to make sure that your body paragraphs are balanced enough, or you're going to not to be convincing enough. Like, you use fewer words to argue for a very important point. This means you're not convincing enough because you don't say enough. I hope you got my idea. I don't mean to say that your writing is bad. No, it's wonderful, but make sure that you have a balance of size in the body paragraphs that you build. Though the formula, I mean, the structure of the body paragraphs is appropriate, but still, the second one needs more development. In conclusion, based on the above examples, it's not just one example, right? And explanations, it's not just one explanation. I firmly believe that extending business hours of marketplaces, of you can say of shops and malls, is a positive development for the community, as long as it is accompanied by government regulation to protect employee rights. Wonderful, wonderful conclusion. But let me see the entire size of this. 320. That's a bit too much. That's a bit too much. It looks long. So perhaps you can find a way to reduce slightly the size of this paragraph, maybe by changing wording and making sure that you can compress certain expressions into something shorter. Add a bit more to this paragraph and your conclusion is perfect. Now the rainfall visual, right? The line graph. Okay. The line graph provides information about the rainfall levels in England, Scotland, and Wales in 2018. England and Scotland started the year with a high level of rainfall, which was above this much, whereas Wales' figure was slightly under this. Since then, the figure of England doesn't really look good to me. Forward, the figure of England. You can say figures in England, or you can even say the situation in England did not change significantly, and it's not about the word, it's about the choice of words. It's not about the number of words. Until the end of the year. The lowest was in June. The lowest, okay, you can say the lowest point was registered in June at approximately this, and the highest around 125 in July, September, and December. In contrast, Scotland's level fluctuated vastly, very nice, over the same period. It reached the lowest February at about 25 and shot up to the highest. I don't like phrasal verbs in academic texts, and neither do the writing examiners. The highest in 1 month. Okay, the number that then went up, more phrasal verbs. Okay, I'm going to highlight the phrasal verbs for you to think and meditate and replace them by appropriate words or expressions, better words, because again, you have quite a sizable answer. Let me have a look. 227. Let's reduce this to 200. Okay. Went up and down, two phrasal verbs make it, until it returned to the highest in October. Look at this. We have highest here and highest here. Let's keep to the so-called dry principle. I'm going to spell it out here. Dry as here. Do not repeat yourself, right? So this is a very important principle for you to keep in mind in terms of vocabulary and reusing it. So I'm going to remove it. You'll see it in the video. Finally, the figure of Wales rose slightly in February. We keep seeing the same words, figure, figure, highest, highest. Try to vary your range of vocabulary for reporting data. And plunged, nice verb, to about this much in April. It fluctuated, fluctuate, fluctuate. Again, the next month and reached its peak. Very nice. Okay, in August it dropped to below and stayed more or less the same until November when it increased to just above. Okay, by the end of the year it plunged repeated. Mm, Perhaps dropped. Why not dropped? Because plunged twice in the same paragraph is a bit unusual. Okay, so you dedicate a whole paragraph to Wales, but you combine England and Scotland here. Well, you compare them. Okay, nothing wrong with this, but how about a comparison between the three? Well, yes, you have this in the conclusion. I can see this. Had the highest and most steady rainfall level, the steadiest. I don't think you can say most steady. Let me challenge my um, my Microsoft Word. Steadiest, you see, steadiest. Compared to Scotland and Wales. This is a very nice comparison, but what I would like to see more is a bit more comparison of the three regions. Okay, so, which are the most similar? I think, yes, England and Scotland are the most similar, yet all three regions register a peak right here in July, right? Look at this peak. And what else? Oh, what else? What else? And two, Scotland and Wales register a drop here in April. So there are a couple of things that you can compare, right? And what's most important in part one is comparison, contrast, minimums, maximums, overall trends. Simply saying what happened throughout the year, as you did here for Wales, is not the perfect idea, so that you know. So anyway, great job, absolutely, Astrid, great job. Keep up the great work. Please make an error list to make sure that you don't lose absolutely anything from my correction remarks, and rewrite and see what you can get. All the best of luck, and hope to see more of your essays again.